mysterious title that I used will be explained later on. I will put the clock on so I will know when to stop to talk, because I like to talk too much sometimes, so maybe it will extend. Okay, hello. So if you can see here that I will use a lot of Polish content. So it's very funny because usually I use English content during Polish conferences and I have to translate. So now I will translate from Polish. That's a very weird situation. Here is a meme. I hope you know what memes is or are. Online conferences are like spiritualist sessions. Grażyna, it's like typical Polish names. It's Grażyna, are you there? Say something if you can hear us. Is there someone with us? We cannot see you. Can you hear us? So I think we can all relate to that, even during pre-presentation for this, pre-meeting for this conference. Some time ago, like in June, I was doing a webinar on how institutions can be how they can go online and different ways in which then they can. So because I like to know what people who will watch my webinar think, I did an online questions. And I asked a first question: how art institutions were using potential of internet before the pandemic? And you see that not so much. Like the average answer is 2.5. So the potential of internet wasn't used properly. And I asked then for what the internet was used mostly. And this is some of the answers. You can see that what dominating here is Facebook promotion of the events, informing of the events, etc., etc. So social media were used mostly as like a wall to throw in, hey, we'll be doing this, we'll be doing that, etc., etc. Of course, there's databases that were shown here today, like zapytak.pl and other databases that, of course, we can show off online. But mostly, as we see, internet was used before pandemic as a means of communication of our program. So I asked again this group, was there a situation you wanted to participate in a cultural event, but you couldn't, and online access would solve that issue? I don't know how about you, but whenever I saw an event I couldn't participate, the first question was there like, will it be recorded? Will it be recorded? Can I see it later? And most of all, the answer was, unfortunately, no. So thank God, pandemic, of course, it's a horrible state we're in now, but I like to look at the positives. Here, the answer is the blue one. Most of the people said yes. So they couldn't participate. If they couldn't participate, the video or the sound would solve the issue of not being there. Okay, and the last question is very like the following. To rate again on scale from 1 to 5, how art institutions are using internet potential now during the pandemic. Can you see the shift? Can you see the shift from 2.5 to 4 average? It's amazing. It's like we're like kind of asleep, like we didn't see what's in front of us. We had the tools, but we didn't have the motivation or the situation that would put us in this situation, the pandemic, to motivate us to use the internet differently. So you can see a very big shift from audience on site in your buildings that can afford to go to you, afford meaning money-wise, but not only, like transport-wise or being handicapped or taking care of somebody elderly or children or being excluded by transport. So there's so like big audience there, potential audience that was not possible to reach right now. And so now we shifted to greater, even international audiences with easier access. I talked with many art institutions, and it turns out that Polish people living all around the world, they're using, for example, like child content, because their children finally could hear some Polish or participate in Polish culture events that they couldn't before. So it's amazing shift and a potential that nobody could saw before on this scale. From one-time not registered events to event streaming and a video lab for eternity. How many times do we do a project that it's only like show on site, not recorded? It's such a waste, It shows that culture is very ephemeric. That's not very ecological and sustainable, I think. So for the sake of people using the content further on, it's amazing that now we have access to all the things that were produced. It's like reusability of this kind of things, from promoting program in social media to creating program online. We stopped thinking about internet as like this big bag that we throw in. Oh, come visit us, come see this, etc., etc., etc. But we started to think how to use the tools to create content actively. For example, I do workshops with people who work in art institutions about audience development. And I had to shift completely to learn how to do it online, to get them engaged, not to get them tired, to be all the time like attention, on. And that's, I needed time to learn that. And I think we all, like it was shown here, I will talk about this tours and how they are not exactly the thing that the audience wants, except of course the top institutions probably. From only indoors activities to using potential of institutions' green areas. Oh my God, so many institutions had such a wonderful, beautiful areas that they never used. And sometimes during the summer, I saw that everybody had to go in and there was such beautiful weather. And now, because of the pandemic, people feel more safe outside. And that's a wonderful thing that happened for me. It was said before, I will only briefly go through it. How is with social media? Of course, the data here is only for Poland and from January 2020, but half of the population is using internet and no more, sorry, but the active social media users in Poland are 19 million. It's a half. It's a lot. And it increases every year, as it was said before by Wenke. So from the last year to this year, it's almost 8%. 8%, almost 1.5 million. That's amazing. And 97% of the people using social media via a mobile phone. So it's also important to create content that is visible and accessible from our phones, not only the desktop. What else? The dominating social media in Poland is YouTube, Facebook, Messenger, Instagram. As I agree with Wanka that probably now the Snapchat is going down and TikTok is going up. As we can see here, this is worldwide downloads in September. You see TikTok is on the first place and Google Play and App Store. Zoom, who was thinking about Zoom like, I don't know, half a year ago? I didn't know this app and didn't know how to use it. So it's amazing that the shift happened so fast. Okay, I will show you some ideas of how to create content online. And this is a meme created by a group of museum workers, which is a Facebook page. Nobody knows who they are, but they create wonderful memes and very funny descriptions of their work with like big laughter. So they're amazing. But all of us in March, especially like in Poland, as I know, they felt a little bit like that. When you don't know anything about internet, but you had to start create online content. What happened? I call it, excuse my language, clean porn. There was in social media, there was a lot of pictures, slow-mo videos of cleaning doorknobs and, showing all the sanitary regime you have to go through to participate in something that is happening. I admired the small library in small town that created the whole video of how you can return a book. And there's people from the library, women from the library, they are cleaning the person and the books with different kind of items. It's very, very funny. The next thing that happened is like one-to-one. So we thought, okay, we have a concert, so we do a concert online. We do a streaming. We had a theater play. Let's do a streaming, and it was wonderful because first time I got to go or to see this Polish band called Tombstones, because there was their concert so many times and I couldn't see it because I don't know, time, money, I was sick or something, I don't know. But finally I watched them online and it was such an amazing experience because it was online. They have amazing stage presence and people were singing lyrics, writing them in, like, the chorus into the chat. It was very funny. Here you have Marcin Masecki, who was, doing solo shows from his home. He's amazing because he has a gift of translating classical music to simple people like me, like who don't understand anything. But it was every Sunday at 12 through like 2 months. He was playing from his house. And that was wonderful and gathered a lot of audience. Like one episode was viewed by 1,000 people. Can you imagine so many people at the concert hall? It's not possible. And on the right, I have a print screen from Instagram from one of the theaters that said that one of the play was viewed by 3,000 people. And the theater usually was for 120 people. So it's amazing what happened. One of the plays that was made by a very small theater, maybe not so small, but from smaller town, not Warsaw, in the south of Warsaw, was for children. And amazing thing that happened that it got to Africa and India, and my friend who works there is taking care of promotion and marketing. He was receiving a lot of print screens and video reactions of kids like that, watching actors in Poland playing a show for kids. That was something that was very touching and very unusual. I don't think this kind of audience would ever appear on the show. We tried to find a way to do our culture events even through the pandemic. So we borrowed the cinema, like car cinema that from United States, and theater plays and concerts were happening exactly in the same way. What touched me really a lot was that the cultural institutions in Poland really wanted to do something for the audience to help them exactly deliver what they needed. So they started to sew masks. They started to acquire computers for families that didn't have enough of computers for children to participate in the classes. And as Wenka said, virtual tours, yes, but they have to be engaging. They have to be, they cannot be just one person like here standing and just talking, maybe if he talks very interestingly, but sometimes one-on-one doesn't work. And I saw a lot of this kind of tours who were not so interesting. And there's something like called Google Trends. It's an app on Google or kind of engine that shows interest in topics that are trending. You can put anything and see when and how people were interested in the subject. So here you have virtual museum tours, and in March it was a spike, but then it dropped totally because people were creating different content, more exciting, short, because we have to remember internet shouldn't be a long thing. It can be really short things that engage immediately. So it dropped. So it means that the audience weren't interested anymore in that kind of content. Reenactment, yes, everybody loves it, and I love it too. And I will show you a couple of photos from Warsaw. We have National Museum, and they did it on Insta stories. So it's interesting way to show the audiences and how their approach on the piece. Here's Jan Matejko, and this is the impression. And this is my favorite on the right because it's it's abstract painting in the middle, but somebody used a toilet roll, and you know how toilet paper was popular at the beginning of the pandemic. So it shows kind of sign of time that it captures it. On the left, you see also toilet paper as an item and the painting that was redone by the audience. Here we have another one, but like with architecture. So we can see like specific kind of points in Warsaw that were reenacted by different kind of materials, even like medicine, like boxes. And in the middle, I love it so much. It's the best Polish kids publishing house, and they have a book about a poo. And this is how the kids reenacted with their families the title of the book. Augmented reality, it's amazing how the technology welcomes in our house, and we can do so many stuff without professional, like very professional help. The first steps I saw that some museums show like virtual background of their exhibitions. It was quite nice, but not so engaging, but it showed that they starting to do that. And on the right, we have Icelandic artist Olafur Eliasson, who did the whole exhibition using augmented reality, so you can move around his like pieces of art. Don't kill me, I don't know anything about video games, but I will use this as an example how we can use video games into promotion of heritage, and also how to learn or teach via video games. On the left, we have Victoria and Albert Museum that borrowed or transferred wallpaper pattern to a game named Animal Crossing Worlds. And ta-dam, it turns out that this video is game is the most popular, or was at the time, and it had 5 million copies sold. So you see, this is amazing new area, untouched sometimes by the. And for archaeology, excuse me, but there's so many games who use medieval times or create stories that are from the past. So it's amazing to get hooked and see what they've done. On the right, we have a print screen of a teacher who started to teach math in Half-Life. So it's like a VR reality, and he was giving lessons in that. Okay, so now I'll explain where the subject or the title of my presentation came from. What was going on, like the most popular thing, battles and challenges, and the British museums on Twitter had their creepiest object. So we can see like on the left side we have 3rd, 4th century hairband from the burial of Roman lady. And on the right side, very relevant things as a plague mask. And everybody wrote about it. It was very popular in regular media, but they had fun, and people were really interested what the creepiest thing they have. Podcasts. It was mentioned by Vanka, and I will say it again. It's a growing market. It's a very popular way to create and how to say, like people are very open to such a way to take the content in, because it's very easy. If you move or you go around, it's very easy to listen to someone. And it's not only audiobooks, but like regular people can do like radio shows, but without being like a professional. And I am guilty myself. I did eight episodes of podcasts, and I found it very interesting, and I found myself very like opened by this new media, and I found it very interesting. So 27% of people in Poland know podcasts, and the people who mostly listen is from age 25 till 34. It's 38%, and as Manka said, why we wanna participate in culture online, to have fun, of course, find out more about the world and relax. And what surprised me, oh my God, the time ended. Do I have like 5 extra minutes? Hello?
Sorry, I had to unmute the microphone. Yeah, just
please continue.
Yeah, please continue. Yeah.
Okay, what surprised me, because I found it yesterday, that South Korea is like the first country that produces the most, who listens the most of the podcast. But on the third place is Sweden. So it's very, very interesting. In Poland, of course, institutions took that in. And on the left side, we have Palace, Museum of the Palace of the King Third Sobieski. Probably I said it wrong, but they started a podcast about different types of, they pick an item from a collection and they describe what it is. Poland Museum of Polish Jews created a radio station, and this is amazing. Have you heard about ASMR? I wonder. Okay, so Victoria and Albert Museum tapped into that phenomena because it's very popular on YouTube. I recommend YouTube because I love a lot of YouTubers and I watch it constantly, and you can learn new skills and ways to deliver, to show your content. And Victoria and Albert Museum did exactly that. So you have very sensitive microphone and you record a touching of an item or speaking, and that makes you tingle. Like your scalp and your, it sounds weird, but believe me, the market for that is huge. For some people, it helps with depression, gets them better to sleep and to relax. And if you can, after this webinar, please check ASMR, Victoria and Albert Museum, and hear how the Charlie Chaplin hat is sounding. So using of sound, like podcasts and this, is very interesting way to think about creating content about your program. And this is the definition of ASMR. And I wanted to show you, in 2008, it was 30 million videos published on YouTube. So it's a very big market. Yeah, I have very particular set of skills. If you know this movie, it's Liam Neeson from Taken. Learning and teaching skills. People during pandemic being closed, they wanted to learn new things. Finally, they got the time to learn something new. And on the left side, we have classes on singing, like this white sing. And on the right, we have statistics from one institution that they created ukulele course, and they had 400 people who wanted to attend. It's amazing. It wasn't, these numbers would never happened. And in the middle, you have, again, Victoria and Albert Museum, who I strongly recommend to follow on social media because they do amazing stuff. It's like how to do embroidery from their collection. This is one of the ideas that probably would more connect to you. Culture and nature, how to cook like a Slavic people did in past times. So all the culinary stuff also very much connected, because during pandemic, I had I don't know if you, but I made my first bread. I made my first bread. So people want to do things from the scratch, and they because if they're interested in environmental issues, they want to see how it was done before. And I think archaeology has amazing I don't know, a power here, because I could ask archaeologists in 2,000 years what they would find about our time, probably a lot of garbage. So it's very fun. So the past was very zero waste. So I'm looking forward to have a course on zero waste like how Vikings were zero waste or something. So Skillshare, this is a platform that gathers people all over the world that want to share their skills. And look, in 2012, it started, but it has already 7 million users. So teaching people one-on-one something, this is what people want. This is what audience want. And as I said, follow YouTubers. And this is exactly what I like. It's experts watching movies and talking about the movies, how they're accurate with reality. And we have here like print screens of 2 archaeologists breaking down like treasure hunting scenes in movies, or Tomb Raider and Indiana Jones. So tapping into that is very interesting, because you love to hear experts like pointing out the mistakes in the movie. No, that sword wasn't used till this century, etc., etc. So being like knowing what trends are and what kind of movies or pop culture is doing. Like we have on the left, we have Netflix, Barbarians, and Vikings, and I saw that. Archeologia Żywa posted on their Facebook, have you seen this movie already, like The Barbarians? What do you think about it? And this is exactly what you should do right now. In Poland, there are populars like, in States, I know book clubs, but we have film clubs. So watching a movie or rewatching with experts, it's an amazing way to get to know more things about. Recommending somebody else's content. So we have big databases or something like Museum Guggenheim. So we can choose one object and talk about it woven in our story. Beauty market or makeup tutorial videos are huge again on YouTube. And I found a couple of examples to show you that, look, the first one has 25,000 views. And I know that art institutions also did it, like Rijksmuseum collected, produced like cosmetics, color cosmetics based upon the colors in the paintings. This is our pride and joy. So it's our Polish YouTuber called History Without Censorship. And he's so loved by high schoolers because he's swearing, he's telling as it is, he's telling things that nobody would know or learned during like in high school. And I love him so much. Look, this has 1 million views and it's about hygiene in medieval time or in the past. Story of one object, telling a story through media. We don't have to use like one object is enough, and its interesting story can be enough. I don't have time, but this is interesting story of this one object is a seed of tree that was brought from United States. And you know why? Because they made the whole exhibition about there is an area in Warsaw, and that was oh my God, I forgot what it was. Oh, ghetto was there. Oh my God, ghetto was there. And they excavated things like in the ground that the previous people who left the ghetto left. And this tree was growing there since the war, and it was cut by developer. And they were so sad because you can eat the fruits. And when people didn't have money, they were cooking the fruits. So the tree was cut, and they started a campaign to show that it's like, you cannot just cut the trees. And it turns out the family from United States contacted them, a Jewish family that moved out from Poland, and they had a jar with the fruit of it. And actually they brought the fruit and they planted it in the United States. So they replanted the plant from this sister fruit. Okay. Insta stories, they are amazing potential. They have amazing potential. And here it is how National Museum of Warsaw is like showing the story of their institution, but very short sentences, very like, it's very easy to read and very like interesting and grabbing. Be relevant. So use current events to comment them with what you have. And this is Museum of Archaeology in Gdansk. And this is a post from Valentine's Day last year. And it shows a couple buried together. And it's like, oh, it's a you know, love till grave kind of thing, or after the grave even. But it has like 250 likes on Facebook, and it was shared a lot. Sustainability in conservation, sorry, but thinking about ecology and how you can implement and teach about how the past was more zero waste. That was just idea I've thrown in, but showing the process is very, very all interesting. Most of all, have fun. So this is examples of children who created exhibition for their animals, and this is exhibition for a guinea pig, and exhibition for a turtle and hamsters. So this is awesome way to learn about classical works of art. And the paintings were recreated with the animal faces. Okay, this is the end. So what would make, this is a research that was made in United States, and it's made every month. So it shifts and changes. So it's very interesting to look into it. And this is answers what would make you feel safe and comfortable going to cultural organization. And so it's mandatory face coverings that was way down like 3 months ago. Availability of coronavirus. And that means that being online is not a fashion or a trend. It will stay us for longer. So we have to do it. We have to do it because we are maintaining and strengthening relationship with our audiences. We exercise our creativity. I didn't know, like I used Google Forms in such a way I didn't know that I can use them you're joining the trend, you're in the conversation, you're developing digital skills. And I know that sometimes in cultural institutions, the set of skills are different, and sometimes it's better, sometimes it's not so good. So exchange in here and upgrading is very important. Improving our virtual image. Like sometimes I look at the webpage of an institution and sorry, but it could be better. So this is not now a time to think through and rethink our virtual image. We have larger audience, we have more direct and intimate contact. We have real-time feedback. Who would go out during the event in the past? No one, but online it's very easy. And it's very easy to see if what we're doing is engaging and we really want people want really to participate in it, because now there are funds for it, especially in Poland. So you do online, you get funded because you can, because online presence is the future, because we eliminate the exclusion. If somebody couldn't join us before, better online team collaborations, perks of remote work, because we had to turn to online collaboration. And a decent product once made will be available later and works for the benefits of the institution many times. Okay, the positives of this, I showed you the positives, I talked about it, but we ask, that was the research made, and ask people that work in cultural institutions. And there is positives. They learned themselves a new set of skills. They had time to develop, learn, to take part in webinars. They could do things that there was no time before. Yeah. And they met a lot of new people that they couldn't meet before. And staying relevant, that's the last slide. It's very important. We cannot talk about something that is not connected to here and now. And being empathetic towards our audiences and knowing what they're like fearing of like losing job or losing health, or that they need to develop their passion, learn new skills, escape from reality because it's all overwhelming. And during the defrosting times we had that we are not locked down, the microtourism and going local was very, very important because you couldn't go abroad. And suddenly that was exploding. Staying in green areas, recreation, learning to grow your own plants, vegetables, doing stuff from your like from the scratch. Less consumerism, less spending, more like renewing things you have, and sense of security. Okay, so the only one last slide is that what is rising is that people consider museums credible source of information, and that shows us that they're counting on us. So we shouldn't let them down. Oh, and this is trends, Google Trends with archaeology. So you can see how it's trending in Google search. And what's interesting that Estonia is the country that Googles archaeology the most. Oh, that's the last slide. I promise. Archaeology it's autofiller. Like if you write anything on Google, it will autofill it according to what people search. And it's very interesting at the end. Like, is archaeology dangerous? So this is what I'm leaving you with. Thank you very much.